Potenzialmente in letteratura potenzialmente le privazioni private, comprende tutte le...
Lei aveva questa R moscia che le dava una...
Sì, stavo in ambulanza in via Giovanni Pascoli a Garlasco.
A Garlasco?
Sì,
Via Giovanni Pascoli al numero?
29, la via senza uscita, la trovo subito.
Come?
È la via senza uscita, mi sembra il 29, non ne sono sicuro.
Ma cosa succede?
E credo che abbiano ucciso una persona, non sono sicuro, forse è viva.
Ma in che senso? Cioè, cosa è successo? Lei cosa vede?
E adesso sono andato ai carabinieri, c'è sangue dappertutto e lei è sdraiata per terra.
In strada o in casa?
No, in casa.
Sì, ma è una sua parente?
No, è la mia fidanzata.
Quanti anni ha questa persona?
26.
Ma lei è in casa adesso?
No, sono in caserma, sono appena arrivato, adesso vi dico cosa è successo.
Today, no music. Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
He say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, he's tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the darkness.
Stefania, Chiara è una persona solare, mi dicevi.
Solare, simpatica, semplicissima, che amava studiare, si è laureata a pieni voti.
Abbiamo visto anche ieri sera filmati.
Ci risiamo di nuovo, siamo di nuovo dentro.
Il 13 agosto del 2007 entri in casa di Chiara Poggi e la uccidi?
No.
Benissimo, benissimo. More simple. Better page. Yes. This is the first last time I should last month I should do the 79 years, but last 20 days, 18 days that I should do the project. It means another 10 years because in fact in 18 days it will be easy at birthday, and so the 4 became the 5 as a sum of 5 plus 5 as a 10, and also it be the 0 in the 80th of the 80th birthday range. It's January 2nd, sono 20 first Friday, so year 2026, also this 3 days second day of this year 2026, also this January 2026, David, Mr. Lynch, David, it's like Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because, and if, can't believe it. It's a Friday, once a day. In Naples. They are at Middle Sky, anzi perhaps one know as he repeats these cases, me middle sky, is the equivalent of variable, so a clear day or sunny day scatters simply alternated with the clouds, or vice versa. In fact, it's the case of the day beneath mostly cloudy, it also seems at the moment it also seems Cristiano with the white and the light but cold. It's really not between the late afternoon 14 and 37, 55, 45 and 13 as Celsius means it's really cold like in AC periods, fact cold is classic the temperatures for the fact winter period so sta portando forse voi si può considerare fact diciamo che se mani notare da 4 years last year sentiamo fact video per campo fuori su the ports in last pass sa ma persone remember if you follow the meaning last pass I think boy. And also like che video perché abbiamo preso l'orso relativo, now also for the winter we are coming in 11 seconds, in fact by 12 seconds, but we are coming on December 21 and to be precise 16, 24 and 3 p.m. in Italy, as perhaps someone know remember think Roboricus. Yes, as perhaps someone know remember think Roboricus change suppose day. I'm sure that the rest of the room is inclusive, but the students think that's my proposal, like the patient to train my leaders is better, and perhaps paradox for me, that is not significant operations for the spring and summer. The other fact for the spring and social soft for the summer di acidi rotto for the autumn and spring acidi soft, so that's general procedure to be the same. As you catch it, as you catch the degrees, at least for me, also the fingers and fingers absolutely incomplete, better. No, for this video, consider it's a good, so no, but si sente absolutely incomplete, but when si sente absolutely incomplete, is referring, yes, I'm referring to me, or is referring to me, perhaps I'm calling one particular this period, for the fact that I was trying to find a good thanks to a series of practice I do and follow since some instrument to practice, and which I was, I try to find a good come this period, in the period with the reports period, I always said another comment, or perhaps there's always another comment which I can explain what are these rules I can explain what are these practice, so per possono sensibilizzare and this other comment is a case inserted in the asterisk first part of the comment, first comment, so because see the comment section, see only the comment section, ma non fosse più, veramente finché non ti lo si ricorda, infatti veramente finché videos, but 19% I think difficult, where no, this penso where in general in some way for me also good, still but scatto su attenzione, I don't know, perché se si usa just for the it's good, not tanto completely, ma che non mi sembra finito di so. It's a Friday once again, sono Cristoforo, sei Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono Cristoforo, sei Friday. It's a Friday once again, sono Cristoforo, sei Friday. C'è per Lisa. Lasciamo per Lisa. Fantastic Electric Blue and White, this is the 6th reason, no story, my weather reports. And yes, because also the previous, the beautiful the 5 reason with the beautiful black, red and white crash after 6 months and more than half I think, yes, also sullo sto conto si think next at promise you at che fa problem it's quick about breakfast at promise you at one day as sono every time check better one day or one time so many time ci potresti più better resist Friday which is started to see which is started to show to you the previous factor X reason red and white and red black and white and then so this is the new obviously it's really new because I'm using it since practically 2 weeks. It's obviously fully full of so now I see that my bear list 30 minutes so that I shave it in 30 minutes and with this now obviously one for the fact that it's really new in one round I shave it so very good. I should do better once if you just before and see it well so blue and white, another different model comparison with the previous, perhaps in some way also the case remember to me the first one record also secondo me repeats once again it's also the 6th reason non story with the reports and in general mi porto anni questa roga su questa porta di 60 punti consiglio mi saccando il tavolo sotto dice quindi una che bella cosa se si può anche se mi faccio vedere i miei music se mostro queste cose posso sia ricci per il gatto. In der Idealfall, wenn ich eine Fraktion diese, ich bitte just before, 55 for the final things, just at important atmosphere, that doesn't chill. Before, they were easier. Yesterday, le cortine in generale, shoes are most perfect. At least I suppose. A serie mi ripeti con Santa mi shoes are most perfect. At least I suppose. Perché sono andato a ripetere pratica Middle Sky. Infatti si attività di opening, clear, alternative with the clouds or vice versa. But according or considering what I read and see my sensations and other things, I think it's possible that later, yes, until the end of the day, might begin, I think, totally cloudy. So, yes, for me, I think it will be easier, and also that might raining, if not transference, even if some hours before it was already raining. So, I think we are going to once again to the day. We see, let's see what the perspective of yes. Batta, so se no, sicuramente immaginiamo su Witas, si pensa che si finisce di arte, per spiegare di chi ha. Bad, Max, ma tu sapete quello. Bad, well, un po' sul contro, quello è better, more better, bad, well, non c'è. Bad, Max, ma tu sapete quello. Così dice, quindi le mie cortine sono inizio. No, quindi le mie cortine sono inizio. Vedete, green flowers, long flowers, mix between the plants, sono i cortine senza stone one and cartings. November one, sono per in particolare per presso cortine. La beautiful grey cortine di beautiful print images of the deep and visiting the passage from the presso cortine to the other things ready to meta. So read in some case one of my comments in the section should be the point third and first comment perhaps fourth comment. I guess so read the comment section, I don't know. So read the Canada sit quella from the shot in Airbnb. Notato sit quella per read in the shot in Mexico, yes. Green flowers, sì, the green flowers. Long flowers are mixed between the plants. Even better, if not, even better, should have better from the shot. Outside the pratica is the first part of the video, which Perugia should be weather scatters in general, the window, better from this window, this classic window, this classic room, also the other window. Also from another pratica is shot similar to classic shot film more than 3 years ago for the previous visual print perhaps also for the first cortina, color cortina. I don't remember exactly. Surely color cortina is still in the image of the channel and one day si sono all'interno di yes, and this shot is also related to this effect both when there is a the shoot also when there is a when there is a effect image analysis read a little speech sentence. So in this case also used for the previous cortina quindi the beautiful print of the benches so in this case also for the first color cortina and also in this case I use it for this new cortina. Sorry but repeating expression also in this case for first times ways and the little speech sentence is this but also and always better visible for me in its entirety in this shot at risico antisemitico or legendary shot. Ma si crede che non è uscito neanche visivo, ma per esempio mi not visible as festa visible last October, but this isn't important because important that also today's not visible, and also now I see you read a little picture sentence for the routine also for it, it's also valid also for it. So I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me needs until the hearing is a shot at this point is a mythical regeneration shot. And finally, from medical keeper NGX examining 40 PG 625 also in this case is a mythical regeneration shot. Yeah, it's multiple people on the channel reports. This is like getting a door. It's an umbrella system. Also give myself and finally, I hope you will get breakfast. Today it's really late in general, also for my hours. Even if, as I said since 2 days, for my hours I see that you think the fact that the last day of the year it was if I see to you the fact that for the first time the fact that late not completed at all for my hours because in this period it's a sort of normality, but for my hours late also late. Every time one day or one time explain better to you for perhaps in another commentary. Yes, in general always late, and there yes, but the important that we are still far away from the required action. So, it was 2023. It was started in fact make we start with them. Yes, if you can believe it, we start with it. If internet part-time with it was yesterday, so think that the record is record 703. So, Saracchi, but we repeat, really close. Say, record really late. From another late, not well. For my hours, they are just only obviously just running quarter 14 and 37 minutes. But the important thing is that she was saying it's a man also do 40 minutes. I'm really hungry. I'm also saying. Ecco fa si sono mosse building sulla figura. Absolutely. And as you know, since then, I think it should be 1 year. I was lost to think like effect on X for a reason Friday. The 5 but beautiful red, black, also white reason, but it should be done in this time period. Ma proprio vero, promesso tu che 1 year or 1 time, so c'è better essere più better presidente di which is the thing which I need to explain all this speech. And I also sono uscito per news e joke perché soprattutto che batto ma sono io azione prossimo for the biscuit the matter in fact I remember you come to be biscuit and yes I think one let's not to kind of era chocolate chip cookies or chocolate or chips cookies or cookies with chips chocolate niente non te ne seguo adesso fai biscuit messaggio particolare, I think that we said this is not to make a shot and get the coffee. Those subscription effect that's for a shot fragment video solution. If you last think 6 months so is lo slow conosci pesanti per usare sono damage più lo amore scoop si finisce now the fancy because bit it senza think one in 64 days so che lo sto conosci pesanti per usare so senza che molto rete battere in certe ritmonze che mi per good news. Quindi si sono effetti in cose breakfast, so questa bomba da spiro in particolare, ma no, sta sti video, se si gioca che sono dato che battono storia, so forse mi riferisco a questa cosa che video. E l'infiziamo non so come se tolla, Nicola se breakfast, so questa merda. Secondo me siamo sia fra me, Fabio sia stata Conrad, i ragazzi, mi sa sempre posizione. Cosa? Altra festa mi sa posizione formina la pamma. Da pamma. Dark chocolate Italian and circles Italian cereals, little balloon practically Italian cereals. But was I do recommend them to you because they are really super bad. Adesso, tomorrow suppose from today. I call him until tomorrow with quello lepra. Ma I want to see.